Jackson.
This company is being bled like a stuffed pig, Mac, and I got a paper trail to prove it. Check this out. Take a look at this.
I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to. And you have to...
Well, fine. You know what, Barney? Give this guy a cigarette. He's freaking out. Huh? Who? Barney. He's the guy who tipped me off to Pepe Sylvia.
Barney? Who the hell is Barney?
You don't see... Oh, shit. What the hell?
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill. This is Sparta!
Raider!
Would you like to see?
Yeah.
You know, there's something special about having a intro roll that is slapped together and not polished at all that I kind of appreciate.
Dude,
and sort of
love it. I was going to say something.
Hard cut. The half dialogue over.
What I was gonna say was like, you can't even tell that this isn't the original intro. Like it's so clean. It's so
that was all acoustic AC. I'm over here with the button. Boom! Switch. Live switch. Live switch.
We could tell, but maybe that added to it. I don't know.
Yeah, the charm.
Judges.
Yeah,
they're saying it added to it.
They're saying it. Yeah.
Most of them are saying it added to it, so we're good.
All right, so good timing on that.
I like that one.
I had to get that one in there.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
Kuna, I'm so tired. I thought your face was my face for a second. I'm like, why is the camera so close to my face? Oh wait, that's not me.
It's the Italian thing, man. You have that face that kind of like is close enough it can blend into a lot of other faces.
Hey.
Kahuna, I'm gonna boost your mic. Why don't you intro us here?
Okay, I'm sick, so I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Kahuna. This is the Iron Seas. It's Tuesday, 6:45 PST, the Lord's time. Thank you for joining us today, ladies and gentlemen. And like the title of this video says, we were so pissed off when we saw the Ironheart trailer, we decided we were going to watch a movie from the literal 1940s instead. And here we are. How the hell you doing?
Noir week, right?
Oh, geez, that Ironheart trailer looks kind of trash. I don't know. I watched it. I'm not a big fan of it though.
I know young women in the military.
I need to talk to the druggist. Maybe we need to let the mistake. No! Stop it!
No, keep going.
No, that's all I got. That's the entirety of my Jimmy Stewart. Make a joke about the druggist putting the wrong pills in and giving it to the wrong person on purpose. Oh gosh.
The guy's literally like having shaky withdrawals and like, I'm gonna fill out these pills. It seems fine.
No, not my bad ear. Oh, stop smacking me in my bad ear. Oh, I wish the little kid talked like adult Jimmy Stewart. That would be more fun.
We got a hater in the comments. We got Maji-chan. Anti-Christmas before the season.
Don't worry, Maji-chan. We have evidence.
It's noir.
This is not a Christmas movie.
Yes, and we're gonna change.
Oh, you guys did discuss this with me beforehand. It can be both. It can be both.
But I mean, you're going against the artist's intent. So I mean, are you even really a fan? You need to get good.
I think
all that matters.
J.K. Rowling said that Dumbledore was gay. So artist intent doesn't always mean
all that matters is the artist intent and sales. That's it. That's where the ultimate alignment. That's
fair.
Is what I've learned.
You know what? We should lead with Justin's comments because there's no chance any comments he makes would piss off the entire collective internet.
Yeah. There's too many subscribers. I have opinions.
Yes. So, Kahuna, why don't you intro us, continue us? It's a Wonderful Life, right? Is our movie?
It's a Wonderful Life. I have an argument here. Now you're going to argue it's an horror movie. It is. It is definitely also a Christmas film. You shut your whore mouth, sir. I mean that with love.
Part, the noir part, I took it with love. Thank you.
Noir week. Yeah.
Thanks for noticing.
It just happens to be Christmas, just like Die Hard. It just happens to be Christmas. It doesn't.
It's about no.
It's far more of a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Far more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard, for sure. I say by that.
I'll give you that. I'll concede.
What? A director's intent, artist's intent, wasn't a Christmas movie in his mind, and so that matters immensely. Apparently, whatever the art people, the people that the casual consumer has no idea what they say about anything. If you read into it and you dig into their background, you watch enough interviews, all that matters is how they feel about things, and you have to adopt that opinion, and your own opinion is not to be used at all, unless, of course, a bunch of people agree with you, then you're right. But if they don't, then you're wrong.
Well, including the original person, right?
So
have you also considered that your white privilege is probably coloring the way that you view art in general? And that's sorry, I couldn't even get through.
Beige-ish.
Yeah, you got me. Guilty.
Lights are orange. I gotta switch.
Then you have guilty. Then you have not guilty. Then you have AC over here. He's like he sees the world in black and white, just like we see him.
Did it go up? Am I more now? Did I do it?
You're more.
Does it sound sexy?
Right? It's going
you
down.
need like
sound sexy, Silky?
No. That was good. That was like milk. Yeah.
I think milk.
We're going orange. We're going.
AC.
Look, frankly, gotta get
Team
a
orange.
little bit orange. Gotta be a little orange. Oh, we struck Kahuna out.
Oh, hold on.
He said AC and he's vanished. He's vanquished.
I think
Kahuna,
this
don't
is.
look into the void. Do not look into the
Look
void.
back.
It
It'll
will,
look back. Yeah.
and it's very fun to hang out with. You gotta watch out. It's a good dude.
He'll reach
Not
him.
really, but it'll
He'll
reach
reach
that. Oh, they said it'll reach him. I thought you were like, don't worry, it'll reach him. It'll reach him. It's like, dude, no, they don't want the void to reach Kahuna. That's bad.
It's a trap.
Exactly. So I gotta harp on that. It's just I want good mood. That's all I want. And it's not an entitlement. It's none of these things. I just want to give my money to these companies, and I just see a lot of crossover.
Right.
Everything that I see. Okay, my truth. Okay.
Dude, out of a lot of movies that exist and franchises, I think this is It's a Wonderful Life, because it's become such a classic. Is actually one of the few that would maybe be a good candidate to like remake and like or like nod to in some way, right? Because I would submit that it's kind of like Lovecraftian, because of like how much he doesn't understand anything that's going on. It's the unknown. He's got this weird otherworldly entity following him around like a ghost, and like even the cops are like,
look, I understand what you're saying. I don't like anything about it. It reminds me of like Winnie the Pooh. It's like, Winnie the Pooh, he's this wholesome character.
But
what if
he was a vampire?
What he's a vampire hunter?
Yeah.
Or he is a demon. I'm like, there's certain properties just like, we find a different one. Just maybe not this one. Like, it's got enough wholesome. And I understand. I get the appeal. You're like, no, dude. It's like the first like, I don't know, not quite 2 hours, hour and a half. There's some darkness.
There is, yeah, and
darkness. You're like, bro,
it's a slow burn. Like the movies back then were
Tell me about it.
Were not afraid to just like lay it on and like tell you everything. They weren't in a hurry. And I mean, in this particular case, like I noticed it as part of the formula, right? Like in this particular case, because of what they do with the story, you have to dump a bunch of context with the main character. You literally need to, because the entire story is context with the reveal at the end. I mean, it's a classic at this point. We could probably talk about it in a pretty meta way.
Spoilers.
Yeah. But like, literally the entire rug pull at the end is a matter of context, because the first, like, he's like, okay, yeah, you were never born, see? And then they
he's a gangster now.
Yeah,
Clarence is a gangster. He's part of the Rat Pack.
He's either gangster Clarence or he's HP Clarence.
Oh, I
H.P.
see.
Clarence. Yeah. Lovecraft.
H.P. Clarence. Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, don't.
He's just a shadow
Don't
that
do
follows.
it. I'm gonna
He's just a
call
shadow that follows
Cthulhu.
him.
Cthulhu's gonna come
Cthulhu,
get you
don't-
if you don't.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
watch out. You got a good
don't
life,
get
kid.
yourself
Cthulhu
right.
could be
Cthulhu's
you. It
gonna
could be a
get
lot worse. Sure.
Do you hear the call? Do you hear the call?
I like how in your mind as you're watching this movie, Clarence, this like old angel, wholesome character. You're like, gangster.
Yeah, he is
Gangster.
badass.
He's
He's like
an accent.
pretty good character. They did good. He's like, how am I doing, Joseph? Like just that like
Jeez, even
added
that line
dialogue.
delivery is like,
I was like, oh man, that had a chance of not aging well, but it actually kind of weirdly worked. Like what? He's like talking to himself, but like he's not human, so it's like sure, like angels talk to themselves, I guess. In this.
hey, it happened. It happened on a Hollywood film. It's got to be reality. That's all we can derive from that.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah, usually
Hollywood do that.
as per usual.
Hollywood do that.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
So
Well, you want me to hit the rundown unless you want to say hi to the chat here? What are we doing?
yeah, let's go through the chat. I've just had the clips in front of me because I got my finger on the trigger. They're just so fun.
It's gonna take a long time.
I'll switch over to the chat here. Let's see what we got. I invoke. We'll start at the beginning. We'll start at the beginning. Evalie. Do you want to read each one in a funny voice as I pull it up?
I don't know that I can wing a funny voice, but let's try it. Let's do a little improv here.
You gotta do it in you gotta do it in the main character's voice. You were doing a pretty good impression of
Oh,
him.
Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah,
saying
do
hi
it.
to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Oh, it's snowing. I've never seen. Oh, it's turned into Adam Sandler.
That's
We
good.
got in the chat.
Where do you think he got it?
Pritchard Pub. Oh goodness, not Pritchard Pub. Oh, this is definitely not Adam Sandler. Oh, we got Bill Armstrong. Wow, the 396. Thanks for dropping by. It's just turning into. I like accents. It turns into Maggie Chan. Goodness gracious! Now it's turning to Peter Griffin. You see how this is
Yeah,
morphing?
Peter
it's an
Griffin.
evolution.
Oh, geez, Maggie Chan. There's a Maggie Chan in the chat. Maggie Chan.
I'm here for
yes.
it. I'm here for it.
I think is that we get everybody?
Oh yeah, Bill. So yeah, Maji. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Oh, go through it.
Or you could always have like Quagmire. Hey, Pritchard Pub. Want to meet me down in my room later?
Giggity. I went right into Beavis and Butthead.
I see. Isn't that weird, man? How like in your brain you start doing one accent and the other one just sneaks right in. Although I will. This is so funny, dude. Accents came up earlier. There's another sync. Accents that are not right are my favorite. I don't like accents that are spot on. I'm just like, wow, that's impressive. You practice this a lot.
Well,
I like
ain't
the ones
right.
that are bad and confident. Those are my favorite. Where people just keep going and they have enough of the good stuff that it hits, but it's just not right. I love
it's the
that,
confidence.
Man. It's like bad.
What's
production
wild
now.
though
There's
is
something
like
about it that
I've heard real Indians from India who sounded like my Indian accent, which can't be possibly be right.
Is it like everybody else's, which is Apu from The Simpsons?
I never watched The Simpsons growing up except for like the movie.
I'm thinking of what's his name? Not Sam Fisher. He's the secret agent. Something Fisher. I need Eric Grant in the chat to bail me out. It's something Fisher.
Oh, Lawrence Fishburne, yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne from Johnny Five Alive from Short Circuit. Who's that kid? He's also from My Science Project. What's his name? It's a good movie.
I don't remember. I know who you're talking about though. That kid who's
something
in a
Fisher.
bunch of things.
Oh no. He's in a handful, but not as many as you might think. He's one of those names where I saw it and I'm like, I've heard that name, but I wasn't sure why. And like, he's not an Indian, but he's an Indian in that movie. And I'm like, oh, it must have been the 80s. Like, it sure was. Did you see Ernest Goes to Camp? I sure did. Did you know the Indian that is actually an Italian guy? Yes, I did. That's Iron Eyes Cody. Great film. One of my favorites.
I knew those films couldn't be trusted. Honestly, no.
And he even does all the like the Indian singing stuff. I'm like, did he actually practice it, or is it just gibberish? I'll never know. I may never.
Thank you. Come again.
Thank you. Come
He
again.
doesn't say that. That would be.
You want
We're
the
talking
squishy?
about different Indians now. We're just talking about people.
I used to have this joke I would say about like Indians and Pakistani people, but right now it feels maybe not like the best time to make the joke anymore.
Yes, that's the correct clip. Well played.
Yeah.
For the stars, Fisher Stevens. What did I say his name was? It wasn't even close to
Oh,
that.
Fisher Stevens. You were
Fine. You guys pour it out of me. I'll tell you the joke. Anyway, there was a 7-Eleven and a almost 7-Eleven right across the street from one another. One was run by Indians, one was run by the Pakistani people, and they would yell back and forth every day. And then finally, a cop showed up, and when the situation escalated, he's like, "Hey, man, no need to throw bombs back and forth. We can keep our distance, be peaceful." And oh wait, never mind. That's just real life now. Anyway,
It's just real life.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was a non-joke joke. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Anti-
Like Peter Griffin looks down.
Aw.
That's right. That's right.
But don't worry.
In just a few hours, you'll be sitting around a campfire with Andy making delicious hot schmoes.
I like to think that every like white guy who really likes Japan and goes to Japan for the first time shows up and is like, that's the energy kind of thing.
Yeah, you just got to be jacked on life.
You know, a little hack here. I don't know if it's even a hack. If you take a schmo and you put a peanut butter cup on there, it does something special.
They're pretty great.
And then you dip it in ranch, covered in bacon, deep fry it.
Ooh,
Then you put it on a disc of
batter it
salt
up
and
deep
butter,
fry
and
it.
cut it up with a knife and a fork.
Serve it up with
And
ice
then you
cream.
give it to your dog.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm
Give it to your
disgusted.
dog.
I'm
He
doing.
loves
Oh,
it.
I thought you were amazed like me.
No,
You put it in
I
salad. Then you
I
bury it.
regret. I regret.
Put in treasure
No.
chest. You put the bottom of the ocean. Covered
It
in
was
salad.
the
Draw a
Italians
map.
who made Hawaiian pizza for
Was
the
it really?
first time. No,
Hey.
Hawaii.
but given what you just said to do, I would believe it.
Are pineapples
Hey, you
even
know.
native to Hawaii?
Oh,
Are
no.
they even?
Are they even? No, they do very well there.
They're not. It's Hawaiian pizza. What
They
makes it
do
Hawaiian?
very
The
well. We're
pineapples.
imports, but they
No,
do. It's like potatoes and almonds,
the strain of pineapple. The best pineapple in the world is Maui Gold pineapples, and there's
yeah,
only a
that's
few
fine.
people who have it left, and it's really such a shame because their Maui Gold is not sour.
Yes.
It is
Yeah, no.
just sweet.
Wait,
It's-
are there
it's-
sour pineapples?
Yes, a lot, most.
Yeah.
What? I've
Uh,
never
in
had
fact-
sour
pineapples
pineapple.
have you
In fact, the bigger the fruit, generally, like this is why
That's what I tell the ladies.
Go on. You have my ear. The bigger the fruit.
grapefruits
The
are
bigger the
sour.
fruit.
The bigger the
Certain-
fruit, like a grapefruit, for example, is sour compared to an
Oh,
orange.
grapefruit's terrible though. My grandmother used to like eat
I've
that with a
never
lot of
liked it.
sugar on it to try and make it passable, but she also liked cabbage and mushroom soup. So
Good with
you know,
sugar and honey.
That's
And
old
Nothing
country
wrong with
lifestyle.
there's nothing with cabbage, man.
cabbage and mushroom soup. That's old country food. That's just like how do we
Cabbage and
not
crab.
die in the winter? This is what we have. Boil it. I don't know. Put some
I mean,
salt. Do we have salt? Where's the dog? We need some meat.
Yeah, let's ask
Jeez.
Orchis. What do you think, Orchis?
We don't live in the old
No,
country.
no,
Like,
no. You have to go way further east for that to be the practice. Much
Here,
further.
I'll be right back. You guys do
Keep
whatever.
talking
you
about
can.
old country cuisine. Well, actually, on that
You
note,
can go through the intro. You can keep talking. I don't really care. This is a pretty casual episode. It's very noir. See, noir. The definition of noir. See,
Okay.
the
This
genre
is
of
not
crime
a-
or fiction characterization.
This is-
characterized by-
We are
noir films.
we are the artists, and this is our vision for the episode. We are noir.
oh, brilliant. I love that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's our vision. If you don't like it, it's just not for you. And get good at.
If you
enjoying
disagree with
vision, I
our
guess.
vision and its definition, then you're wrong. Simply.
You know how rare it is for somebody to take my side. I don't know how to react. I have all these feelings, and they're just like I don't know what to do with them. That's how.
I
how
think
rare this is.
I think they're like it's the idea of the death of the author. Essentially,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like how is the word of the author law or is I think they can speak to what their intent is, but they don't have any control over how people perceive and take it and what they draw
Yes.
out of it.
And what I've learned in the handful of conversations I had about my Get Good video is that all that matters is if you have enough people that agree with you, then they're right. That's basically what I took away from it.
If that's a metric, you weren't doing too well in that video.
No. Yeah, no, I'm not. But I don't know that my points are incorrect. I think it's the kind of way that people are like, Taylor Swift is a Rolling Stone best guitarist of the past 30 years. I'm like, she's a horrible guitarist. Like, she can play guitar around a campfire. But they're like, well, you're wrong because we say she's good, and there's a whole bunch of people that buy what she's making. So her target audience.
Yeah, but those are the
opinions
opinions of women, and should we really listen to women in the first place?
I
I mean, especially when it comes to
music.
music.
Of course.
Well,
But
we need to be logical here, okay? Okay, so we don't listen to women, obviously.
It gets back to the ultimate thing. Like, art is completely subjective and it's individual, and I don't care what anyone else says. And it's the kind of thing you're like, well, then it gets down to my truth. It's like, to a degree, there's certain objective truths, like this is composition is a pyramid composition. The color red is used. That you can't have my truth there. But saying like, I look at this, it means this to me. There's all these people, it means something else. I'm like, you're both kind of right, because art does have that impact. And what you take away from it, the art, and this is my point, the director's vision is his vision. That's what it means to him. But once it goes out into the world, it means something else. And I don't know that I begrudge people who have a different interpretation of the work, as long as they are not trying to change it moving forward or recontextualize it or whatever.
That was the problem.
That gets a little dicey. I understand that.
That's the J.K. Rowling situation, because
right.
She did not. Half of the shit she says about the original series, in recent years, like when she started writing Fantastic Beasts, I'm like, half of that doesn't line up with what you wrote. Like, factually is wrong. So it's, that's a situation where I'm like, I think earlier interpretations and even your own words about the series when you were writing it were correct. And what you're saying now, factually, is incorrect. You're trying to change. So, she's trying to appeal to a crowd, or that's what she was doing until they started. And that was something Hitler.
I even brought up, and I'm like, what if the director says, no longer do I abide by my original vision, it's changed. And now I'm like, you know what? I've seen the light, and we want to change what this is, and we're going to open it up to more people. And a bunch of folks are like, we'll abandon that because his original vision was his only true vision. I'm like, wait, so the artist's vision only mattered whenever you agreed with the artist's vision? They're like, yes. I'm like,
no, but like the problem is when you start changing changing the first thing. Like they've done that with, like, that's how they ruin every series. Like, look at Star Wars, look at Star Trek.
Yes.
It's like we have to break down what happened before in order to tell the story we want to say.
And that I'm against. I think the difference is to a degree, and I use this analogy and people disagree with me, talking about hard mode in games, it's like a language where if you have a book that is in Japanese and Japanese only, well, go learn Japanese. It's not for you. But it's like, just translate. It's like, it's not the same experience. It's not the way that the artist intended it. To me, it's more of that kind of thing. It's like a translation issue more than anything else. I don't know.
So I'm on my phone, so obviously I can't read the comments as they come in. But Maji-chan 2 minutes ago, I can guess what we were talking about. She says, "Screw you, Kahuna." And you want to be fair? Okay, guys, go full screen on me, AC. Full screen. Go wide here. It's not working. Anyway. The Kahuna, would like to apologize that women make no sense and that they can't be trusted.
Oh,
that's what I'm truly sorry.
Except the ones
to make fine music. Allow me. Music.
Dude, you got a lot of you're wilding with these clips tonight, my boy.
Yeah, he's having fun. It's just a man unleashed. All right, we should probably get into the summary and get into the movie here since we're half hour in. This film came out in 1946.
That's wild.
I know, right? It's always great whenever you go back to spoilers. When you go back to an old film, and when I say old, it's 1940s, it's a long time ago. It's before any of our life. Yeah, before any of our lifetimes. I think probably grandparents. Probably like
my grandma was 1940, so
okay, so right on that edge. They were probably children when those came out. Maybe they could speak to the theater experience and how they didn't go. So this is a film though that it holds up really well, much like the show I Love Lucy, and it's about a young George Bailey. He's overwhelmed by family obligations and a sense of self-responsibility towards his community. Ooh, he feels tied down to a company he never had an interest in working for, and a life he never wanted to live. As he ages, he sees his youth dreams and opportunities passing by. We're slipping in and out. Unknown to George, all of his friends and family have been praying for him to get through all those hard times.
All I have is a beautiful wife, loving children, the admiration of everyone around me, a large home in the nicest area of town, a great job, and the respect of the love of my family, friends, and everyone who knows me.
Yeah.
Besides that, what do I really have?
I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to. And you have to do it.
So it's told through the point of view of a group of angels, which that's one of the things about this movie. There's certain aspects of it that if you stripped away, I'd be like, it was fine. But there's certain things because of that I'm like, oh, it's a banger. This is an all-time banger forever. He's met by his guardian angel, Clarence Oddbody. Oh, as he contemplates ending his... Can I say that? As he contemplates ending his something. I don't know if I can say it on YouTube. One of the things that starring Jimmy Stewart. Oh, Jimmy Stewart. There's also in terms of starring, there's a handful of names in here that are probably popular from the time that I am not as readily like, oh yeah, that's that person and their name is this and I know what they're from. If Calta was here, he'd be like, oh, somebody give me strength. Because he has all these names memorized for sure. We got old Donna Reed. Old Donner Reed. Lionel. Not Richie. You were thinking I was going to say Richie because you don't know any Lionels, do you? This is Lionel Barrymore.
I've met a couple.
Couple Lionels?
Mm-hmm. Lionel.
I know the trains.
I ain't lying when I said I know Lionel.
Anyone named Lionel in Washington is probably one of the guys in Washington who adds an R in the word Washington, so it's Washington.
He's probably wearing.
There's a whole group of older people here who talk like that. I don't know where it comes from. It's not normal.
It's like a Peter Griffin thing.
We have people out here that call water wooder. I'm like, it's water. And like,
no, that's not like adding the R though. It's not like adding the R.
Say wooder.
There's other examples too where it's like they add an R. Yeah. I know what Kahuna's talking about. It's Peter Griffin. It's that region. I'm pretty sure.
Water.
Malk.
Tagline
is it
for
Malk?
This movie?
Is it Malk, Milk, Mulk, or Milk?
Yes, it's all those.
Milk,
only one of them is right.
Psychopaths.
Yes,
I thought it was Milk.
Hawaiian. It's correct. It's
so
Milk.
it's not Mulk.
No. Mulk would be MU with dots over it, LK, and then there's
what do you? AC, what do you? Popeye? Well, we got mud as milk. Mud as milk. I never wanted to. I never wanted to be a mud.
Yeah. No, it's not that. It's not that.
That's going on a shirt. Mud is milk.
Is milk just like when a woman's lactating and it's like not good anymore?
Oh, I don't like that word at all. I don't even know what the rest of the sentence was. I just heard that word and my ears went. It's like when you lose hearing, it goes. Is that after that word in both of my ears?
Wait. Is that
one day?
Is milk when a woman's lactating and like milk's curdling? It's not going good.
You got to say that and then give Evalie a compliment so that his ears are ringing and then he doesn't hear the compliment.
The tagline for this movie.
Yeah, the tagline of the movie.
The tagline for this movie, which is maybe one of the greatest taglines of all time, is Frank Capra's. Or Capra's, I can't get it right. Frank Capra's, It's a Wonderful Life. That's the tagline. No, like, the gift is right in front of you or something. Actually, this movie's original script was called The Greatest Gift. And it was passed around for I think it was nearly a decade before somebody picked it up. It was like a short story some guy wrote, and it was passed around. Ownership,
short stories, I'm telling you.
Actually, that lines up because this movie is based in the 30s and then the 40s, and it came out in like the 50s. So yeah, it was passed around for like a decade. I'm like, I feel like 46. This is partially. Oh,
that's pretty standard, actually. To be honest,
and they must have changed it right when they obviously started filming because I don't think World War II was happening in 36 very commonly.
Yeah,
yeah. Which is why I was thinking it was the time of the day, like, quick, put a war scene in here. And like, oh, his brother went to war. Like, all right, I had it. As long as he gets people in the seats. And they didn't show up. $3.3 million, which actually surprised me. The budget, that seemed really a lot. I don't know what the standard budget was back in there. And again, Kalt is like, oh my gosh, wherever he's at. But $3.3 million was the budget for this film. Or sorry, 3.7. 3.7. And it made 3.
That's a lot of money. No, that's a lot of money. Ooh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's whenever Potter orders him or offers him $20,000 a year, I Googled it and it was like almost 200,000 or something. It was like a lot of money.
That is a lot.
3.7 million? That's like trillions of dollars.
Well, considering your average house costs like 5,000, yeah, 20,000 is a lot.
Dude, I heard cars were like $20.
Wasn't he making like $15 a day though? That's one thing, and also like factor in. You had like one toilet. It was 700 square feet. You don't have a big screen TV. There's no internet. You don't have a cell phone. You don't have any of these common amenities. Like if you wanted to live that way, This is an aside. If you want to live that way, you could definitely do it for about the same
But
price. It's just
you're
you have to
basically
throw
a
away
caveman, though.
common stuff. Yes,
You're
it would be
basically
very
a
simplistic living, but you could do it. You could
But
absolutely.
then
There's
then I
houses.
wouldn't be. But then I wouldn't be able to share my kahunas with the internet.
Yes.
You know, and the funny thing is, you could still do that. The houses that are similar to the house my mother grew up in, you can get right now for $40,000.
There's not a
Base.
property without a house anywhere near me for less than 200.
Yeah, you gotta. If you leave, if you drive away from like where jobs and opportunity are, and just drive to like sadness land,
If you go to the middle of the country,
where it's
Did
just
you ever
coal
hear-
and drugs, you're
Jobs
good.
and sadness.
did you guys ever hear that
Right.
what Daniel Tosh said about that? He's like, "Oh yeah, no, you guys live in the middle of the country where people have given up on their dreams." That's right.
Yes.
Mm.
It's like
But hey, this is this movie that you got to give up on your dreams because your dreams they're with you all along. They're stuck to your shoe.
Your dreams are
You just stepped
trash.
on 'em.
your dreams are trash. Forget about them.
Frankly, but
This,
hey,
mo-
trash
this
is
can we
in
talk
your
about
house.
this movie's pace? This movie's pace is
Ooh.
really palatable, considering
Oh,
it's
really?
from the 40s.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's
Well,
super
okay,
chill
that's
and
fair,
slow.
That's fair.
It's low and
Yeah,
slow.
you have to consider when it's from. You could, Justin, you could watch this whole movie and be fine. It's a little slow, but it.
Did I have it at 1.5x?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You are an addict, dude. I don't know.
It's only because I didn't have 2x for what it's worth, you know. Compared to like a I Love Lucy, I Love Lucy's got fast pacing. But to your point, a movie from the 40s, you watch most movies from the 40s, I know what you mean. This
You
does
watch
have
most
a
movies
more.
like from the 70s, and it's still bad. Like
I don't want to call it modern. That's too much praise, but modern-ish. We'll give it.
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay, all right, accepted.
Also,
modern-
that scene where his uncle is stumbling away and then like falls. That was the actor actually falling off of the set,
Sick.
Oh, that happens. Yeah.
and they just kept it in for the movie. That wasn't scripted. It was just something that
This
happened.
happens. This happens.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
Like walk. There it is.
Walk. Yeah. Get it?
One of my favorite things about this movie, and it pops up a couple times. It starts off with people praying. They're like praying for
Sick.
their neighbor, and I'm like, holy crap, praying in a movie. When I can't name 5 movies off the top of my head that I've seen in my lifetime TV shows in my lifetime where they have people praying for something. I can't name 5, which is insane to me.
Yeah, no, I know movies that.
It's a Wonderful Life. We'll give you that one's a freebie. Go ahead. Put you on the spot here. Oh, he cut out. Look at that. Oh,
That's a setup. That fed. Oh, there we go.
Oh, and he's muted.
We'll see what he
It's
says.
a Wonderful Life. 2, Dawson's Creek. 3,
Wait, what?
Ernest Goes to Camp. 4, Ernest Goes to Prison. 5, Ernest Rides Again. Where's the middle finger? I'm waiting for it. I know it's coming.
I
We can't hear
him.
you, man. We
Yeah,
can't
but
hear you.
it's
You got
fine.
no audio.
It's fine.
You're muted. No, it's fine. Just let him cook. Let him cook.
You let him cook. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
now
you're back.
good.
You're back.
Now you're good.
Okay, you sacks of shit. Okay, so Book of Eli.
Eli, I was gonna say. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Independence Day.
They praying that?
Yeah, they do. The movie Signs.
They praying that too?
Never mind. Screw you, man.
No, do
Oh,
they?
yeah.
I'm not even being like facetious or whatever.
I don't think anyone has ever been the word you just said.
What if you're like Ben-Hur, Passion of the Christ, Prince of Egypt?
Did you know they
All right.
cut the?
In any case, I stand by my point. Even though it didn't work
It's
out
not
quite the way
common.
I wanted. It's very, very, very rare, I would say. Not even uncommon. It's just rare. And so to see a movie opening with that, with angels talking to each other, it was just like commonplace. I'm like, oh, yes. That's the culture. Man, that's delicious. I love that stuff. So the fact it opened with that and they're talking about it, I thought was really cool. How do you all feel about the time skipping? The whole, it's not Memento, but just the whole, that approach to storytelling where it is, you're covering a lifetime in a short amount of space. Are you guys a fan of that? Not a fan of that? Depends.
I like it. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Yes.
No, I liked it. I did get a slight dazed and confused vibe from like the weird middle portion of the movie, where he first met his wife, like where he first met the girl who he ended up marrying. Because
Oh yeah, that's
like
a good scene.
he's like near his 30s, and he goes to a high school dance as
Wait,
not a chaperone.
I thought he was a student because he's like the rugby team. He's got the jersey on.
No. He's like in his mid to late 20s, and he goes to as a participant in a high school dance.
Why is he wearing the rugby jersey then? Is he just playing like beer league rugby? He's like, yo, I'm gonna go to the prom and pick up some chicks. Now I'm confused. Is this accurate? Chat, is this real? What?
Yeah, no. Like when he went with the girl who he ended up marrying later,
Yeah,
and had that whole thing going on.
And her name is Mary. Of course, he has to marry her, right?
Can you like I was watching this and like, you know what I like about high school girls? Like that's the vibe.
I still haven't seen that, but I didn't realize he was supposed to be in his 30s. I thought he was a high school student. Is this accurate?
No, he's like
get ChatGPT in here.
No, he's like 10 years older or something like that.
Why is he wearing a rugby uniform then? And he was is that really? Wait, what line of dialogue? I gotta go back and rewatch this. Is that real?
Yes, he's like bare minimum 25.
Okay. Hang on, Bill's on my side. He's supposed to be more or less fresh out of high school in that scene. At least that's what I thought. All right, he's seeing what I'm seeing. I'm not saying we're right, but at least we're seeing the same thing.
You're always right to me, buddy.
No, is he in high school or is he like 30? Is he
he's like
on the promenade?
Mid to late 20s. Remember, he was apprehensive because he was older than she was, and she was into it.
No,
did we watch the same movie?
Yeah, in 1.5x on my phone, maybe here and there. But
AC, look it up. You have computered.
You have computer. You have the computer.
What am I looking up?
Do it. You are the hero.
How old was George Bailey when he went to the dance?
Okay, we got it. AI says he was approximately 21, and she was 17. So it's we're getting there, but not like
that's what I would have.
The law needs to intervene quite yet, especially for the 40s. That was a little bit more commonplace.
Yeah, it wasn't uncommon to get married when you were in your like late teens or even early teens.
Okay, all right. I don't feel crazy. All right, Bill, we've been affirmed. All right,
but he definitely wasn't in high school.
Yeah.
That's also a fair point. Yeah, why did he hang out the prom? It's a little weird. All right, you're making me be like, yeah, this movie.
It's like there's always one kid who just keeps on hanging out with all the high schoolers, and then he's getting older. You're like,
Even the seniors hanging out with the junior or the freshmen. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, that's a little. You're going to college. What are you doing?
Well, even like the freshman girl dating the senior guy, I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. That's weird. You can drive, she can't. She can't.
Okay, but riddle me this, gentlemen: is it weirder for the senior guy to date the freshman girl, or weirder for the senior girl to date the freshman guy?
The first one. I feel like that's a little bit more predatory. The second one's more like,
There's the second one doesn't,
or whatever Evalie said.
He's disagreeing.
It does feel more predatory, but the second scenario doesn't make sense.
They're both weird, so one's just slightly more weird, in my opinion. You guys can fight over it in Internetville.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Is it a town or a township at this point? How big is the internet?
I had a woman try to pick up me and my dad, thinking we were brothers at a Canadian Thanksgiving, and I was 17.
That must be a compliment to your father's skin condition, I guess.
He had more hair at the time. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it was.
That's an excuse.
He had more hair, and I had no hair. I shaved my head, so I looked older than I was.
The best I ever got was a woman in her 70s said, if I was 50 years younger.
That's not a nice thing to say about your wife.
She's not in her 70s yet.
But
you said the best you ever got, man. That's the best you ever got.
She's I've got some weird compliments in my life. That one though, if I was 50 years younger, I'm like, and I was actually, wow, you're older than I thought, but I'll take it. I smile.
I will look for you. I will find you.
Dude, her name was Loretta too, so perfect, right?
Loretta Falcon.
It's a great 70-year-old name. It is.
I had a period of time where I had like maybe 4 or 5 years where I had a lot of much older women really, really into me for some reason. Never figured
They're
it
out
out.
there, man. They're out there.
Well,
like when
like
you
we were
grab
we were
somebody
we
that-
were hiking in Hawaii, and she's like, "Come here, I need a picture with some hot young guys." All right.
You're just hiding behind a tree, like, well, here I am with a pipe, like, you called. Oh, get over here, whippersnapper.
I
This
walk
has a
out of the
lot to do
jungle.
with the movie. Spot on.
I walk out of the jungle, put on my shell lay. Yes.
Oh my!
I just tossed a poll up in the live chat. Go vote for the best noir. I love
I
the
haven't seen most of these, but
I know. I just asked Grok what the best ones were, and it and did a deep search. So there's a bunch of reasons.
I bought The Thin Man on a whim at Goodwill a few years ago. I haven't watched it yet. Anyways, I'm probably back to the movie. As much as I talk about weirdness, dude, that's a '90s lip trick. It's fantastic.
Classic. Yeah.
The kids riding the show. There's a lot of like old aspects to this movie of the time that I really appreciate. I like when movies are kind of stuck in whatever time period they're supposed to be representing, even if it's in the future. Like Back to the Future, where they have where they have the fax machine in everybody's house in the future. Yes, that's hilarious. It's very much a product of the time, and it makes it fun to go back and watch because you feel like you're experiencing that time in some aspect. So the kids riding shovels down the hill at the beginning. I've never ridden a shovel down the hill. We had sleds, like plastics, and even in the movie,
I think that's a condition of not growing up with the internet. Possibly
having shovels instead of sleds.
No.
I
think getting so bored that you can't afford a sled, and you're like, we don't have internet. How about we just use the sled? How about we don't have a sled? How about we just use a shovel?
Yeah, it's just like, how do we get on this hill? But is the kind of thing, there was no access to sleds, and that's like, beta testing for sleds. Like, hey, we're on a shovel. What if we get rid of this handle and just make it like out of plastic? But even in the movie, his buddy offers him a job at the plastic plant or whatever it is, and it's the kind of thing where plastic wasn't even commonplace yet. So it's like, whoa, this is a whole different world, and that was really cool. So the kid's riding down the hill, and then obviously it starts off with a scene that ends up replicating itself towards the end of the movie with George saving his little brother.
Good writing.
And that was pretty harrowing, man. The way that scene was filmed, the angels are talking, they're watching these kids, and that kid goes into the water, and I was like, if this was a modern movie, they're probably going to kill the kid.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's an old movie, and he saves his brother. I'm like, yes! And that right there was like a victory right off the get-go, which I appreciated.
Have you seen The Butterfly Effect?
Yes.
Yeah, I hate that fucking film.
So yeah, I feel like The Butterfly Effect is kind of nodding to this movie in a lot of ways.
It's like this movie if you were really depressed and want to slit your wrist.
Well, it's a modern.
I don't know if I want to rewatch it.
Well, it's a modern. Think about it. It's a modern version of this movie, kinda.
I haven't.
Yeah, they replace God with science.
Yep.
And they take away all hope, and there's no guardian angel to help you. He's just boned from the beginning.
There is no guardian angel. I forgot how his omniscience is achieved, like how he realizes all this stuff. Because I know it's an ability in his blood. It's implied another relative of his can do it as well. That's right. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch that one.
I like the spoiler alert for Butterfly Effect. He fixes everything by going back and insulting a little girl. That's how he fixes the timeline.
Well, there's like 3 different endings. One of them, he also assassinates himself.
That's right. I forgot there were they played alternate endings like in different theaters.
Yep.
This is gonna be weird, man. Whenever I rewatch this, again, another great Goodwill pickup. I'm like, Ashton Kutcher, he's fine. I'll check it out. Although, dude, weird. Again, not to go on a tangent, but his personal life, very weird stuff going on with him. All right.
Oh, when he got married to like a 44-year-old when he was 20. Yeah.
He stumbled into he's a Jason Statham. He stumbled into a house where there's wine on the floor, but it was actually his girlfriend that had been murdered. There's all kinds of weirdness surrounding him. AC's like, I'm surprised you don't know this, dude. Dig into it. After this, you're gonna be like, yo, and you're going to a rabbit hole, and you're gonna be like, this is wild.
Deal.
A couple other things in terms of the the scene setting at the time with the shovels and then the language. I love whenever there is language that captures the culture or the time and they lean into it. I can't verify if it's accurate, but the hee-haw, they're always hee-haw every time they see each other. I don't even know what that means. It's just like, hey, what's up? But hee-haw, and then he
I
goes
think they
into
just heard animals making that sound, and they just like, you know what, we could do that.
what if they were all like that, like, meh, like, hey, hee-haw, and they're like, quack, and they just have different noises. He goes
I
into
too can
the
hee-haw.
druggist, not the drugstore, the druggist, that language. Oh, I
That's
love that kind of
interesting.
language.
Yep,
And
yep.
he's like, I wish I had $1 million. And he clicks the thing, hot dog. And even though he says hot dog is kind of weird. He's not like, hot dog. It's like, hot dog.
Hot
it's like
dog.
like he's reading a script or something. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I love that aspect of it. And then the two little girls are sitting at the druggist counter, and the way they're talking, they might as well be adult women. But they're like these 5-year-old kids, but the way they're talking is it's like adults. It cracked me up.
They did that. They did that in Airplane as well with those little kids, and that's one of the
I
funniest
need to
lines
watch
from
that
that whole
again
movie.
too.
Nope. I'll cream for your coffee. No, I like my coffee like I like my men. Black. Just like that's so bad for. Like, how did they get away with that?
I don't. You could now that they don't want to. Just like the scene with the druggist where he's. I guess he's drinking. He's on drugs. Something. He finds out that his son has died, and he mixes up the pills. And so little George Bailey with his bad ear. He's like, he takes the pills to his dad first, I think, and then is like, hey, this is wrong, I think. And then he comes back, or he takes them, he takes them to his dad, who's in a meeting with Mr. Potter. So you're introduced to Mr. Potter, the bad guy. What was Harry Potter's dad's name? James Potter's James Potter. So James Potter's introduced,
Is that a reference then? It's got to be.
I really doubt it.
Put quite a spin on Harry Potter. So he goes there and he tells his dad these pills have been swapped out and all this sort of stuff. And that's when you find out that if it weren't for him, he would have accidentally killed a kid. And that comes up later on in the movie as well.
Yeah.
And
I was there.
Because he tells the druggist, hey, you made a mistake. The druggist is so proud or whatever, starts slapping this kid repeatedly on film.
Yeah.
To the point where his ear is bleeding, his bad ear. And the kid just like, I'm sorry, sir. Please stop, sir. Sir, you're upset. And the kid is like the adult in the situation, which was like wild. And I love to see that because children
it was a kid who the kid is a hero. He doesn't want to be disrespectful, but he can't let him make that mistake. And it's
I love that scene. The fact that a kid at that age stepped up to the plate and put this old man in his place and actually helped the old man out. And later on in the movie, you find out the old man returns the favor. So that's really good writing. They set that they plant that seed early on. This kid helped him out, and it pays off in two ways later on in the movie in the writing, which is really good. So there's that aspect, and the whole.
They got us endeared to George Bailey very early and very powerfully, like to the point where even when he makes mistakes and even when he's not acting right later, we are very, very forgiving of him as an audience.
That's such a good point, dude. Such a good point. Yeah, it was the kind of thing.
We're like, come on, George, get it together.
Yes. Watching it, there was so many moments where I couldn't stand this guy. Where I'm like, ugh. And then later on, hours later, I'm driving my car. I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, this is my emotions right now. And then I'm like, I start thinking about it. I'm like, oh, actually. And then even this conversation, I'm like, oh, dude, the fact you pointed that out, I'm like, yeah, you're right. There were certain things where, you were more forgiving because of the way the plot was set up. I'm like, oh, it's such a good look.
It's the context. They started it off with him rescuing his brother.
Yeah, and he's not the only character.
He earned everything. They do that with that. Like they make Mr. Potter a villain from the get-go.
Yeah,
every scene he's in, they increase his villainy. That's a very hard thing to do, but they do it incrementally. And by the end of the film, you're like, was he a German spy? What's going on?
The best thing about Potter 2 is that he's never like overtly pure evil until whenever George comes to him for help. Up until that point, he's a bad guy. You don't like him, but you're like
he's more of a Loki up until the end. Yeah, he's like he's a silver-tongued, selfish individual.
Yeah, he's got that. I don't like I love capitalism. I like moral capitalism, and it's a term like how is this not popularized?
Oh,
I want moral capitalist, which makes things tricky. Great, but at least you're not being an immoral capitalist. And he's taking advantage of people and doing all these things he shouldn't be doing. And he's a bad guy, but you're like, okay, he's a businessman. He's never done anything too crazy until it gets to that point. But it like you said, it slowly escalates, and you never like the guy. And then you're like, okay, everybody's had a chance to have some shot at redemption. And whenever George comes to him later on in the movie, like maybe this is the moment. Nope. He stays the piece of crap he is. He doesn't have an Ebenezer Scrooge arc. He stays as awful as he is.
He stays Scrooge.
Yes.
Also, we do have to acknowledge that Uncle did F up leaving $7,000 or $8,000, just leaving it somewhere.
Dude, yeah, he put in that paper and handed it to the evilest guy in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, silly uncle.
Can you imagine being Mr. Potter and just being like, I just was handed victory.
You know,
and they'll have no way of knowing.
I think I would think at least in part he'd be like, that's way too convenient. Maybe that would shake him. But there was no story that you could have gone that route too. I don't know. That's so
well, it also plays into like the whole like trust God, let him lead you in all your ways, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper kind of thing. Based.
Yeah. That aspect of the movie, man, I love because that comes up later on too. Even though he's in desperate times, I wish it had been a theme more throughout. The same way that I wish that this is a very beloved, very heralded Christmas movie. Christmas is not even mentioned until the 70-minute mark. Because when they first brought it up, I was like, oh, this is a Christmas movie. And then it finally pops up. It's 70 minutes out of 2 hours and 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, now it's a Christmas movie. The second half.
Right.
I think
more like the end.
Yeah, really. But there's an important aspect to that also, because I think this film it shows the dark side of the holiday season and the miracle, happy side of the Christmas season. Because, George goes through it for, a day and a half. And, he goes into deep despair, goes time traveling with an angel. He crashes his car, goes drinking with stallions. His life's falling apart. And then the Christmas miracle at the end. It's depending on how you live your life and how your life is going and what season you're in, almost every person has been in both sides of Christmas, because those are the two sides. It's rarely life is kind of okay. It's usually life is great or life is really rough.
Yeah, I don't know. I
was gonna say
movies that are more on the light side of it, and this one, it got real dark at times for a Christmas.
Yeah, but it made the endings that much sweeter.
I'm not that guy. To me, I'm like, if I'm eating vanilla ice cream and it's vanilla the whole time, I'm loving vanilla the whole time. If I'm eating vanilla and it starts off like leather shoe that's been in mud, I don't enjoy the ice cream better. I'm like, I wish there wasn't leather shoe covered in mud at the beginning. And so I don't know. I understand what they're trying to do, but I
want to alter that analogy.
All right, do it.
No. A good ending to a film with darkness in it, or with a sad or tragic plot through, in the early to mid portions of it, it's like going up to the mountains. You have no sustenance, but that first bite of whatever food you eat while you're up there is the best food you've ever had. It's the best bite you've ever had.
That's not
because you were hungering for it, dude. Dude, I swear,
that reminds me of the story.
Up in the mountains, a Snickers bar tastes like a God-given gift.
Yes, but is it the best meal you've ever had in your entire life, or was the best meal you ever had in your entire life the best meal you ever had in your entire life? You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on.
If you have
that reminds me of a really important story.
Let the woman talk, Justin.
From I heard this story. I heard this story from a really trustworthy source called. It was a king actually who told me this story. King of the Hill.
Go on.
There's a man running, and he's being chased by a tiger. And he reaches a cliff, and the only way to go is over the cliff. So he falls over the cliff, and he catches onto a branch on the side of the cliff, and he looks up, and the tiger is up there, looking down at him. And he looks down, and below, not only is it far enough where he'll break his legs if he falls, but there's another tiger waiting for him down below. And then he looks up again, and he sees next to the branch a strawberry growing on the branch, and he plucks it and he eats it. And it was the best strawberry he ever had.
All right. I'm not sure what happened there.
That's the story.
I also want to point out that Bill, I'm not going to say all of Bill's comment, but just part of it. I'm not a fag. That's one of the last things he said. Anyway.
Well, great. That's good.
And thank you for the affirmation.
I understand the analogy. There's been times when I've worked a long, hard day and I'm so hungry that I suddenly, foods I hated like tomatoes and onions, I'm like, these are actually delicious now.
You hate tomatoes and onions?
Dude, growing up, I know it's bizarre as an Italian family kid.
Did they beat you with willow switches, or what did they do to punish you?
Sometimes if I acted up, man. It's funny. I was just telling a story about my grandma open palm slapped me in the face when I was a child. I'm like, yo, it was an important lesson I learned that day.
Grandma has hands.
Somebody's like, yo, is she German? I was like, what? Why would you think that? She's Slovakian. Get out of here. Anyways.
You do not use girls' name.
So being Italian growing up, yeah, I like tomato sauce. I love tomato sauce. But when there's like chunks of onions in it, I'm like, eh. Or if it's a raw tomato, couldn't get into it. So I had a day where I was working construction all day, super long day, a lot of drywall, a lot of sanding, a lot of heat. It was terrible. And I had tomato and onion. Amazing. Loved it. Changed my perspective on tomato and onion. But at that point in time, I was still like, I went through a lot of darkness to get this amazing meal. But the best meal I've ever had in my life is still that one time I went to Mama Lucia's and I had that seafood Ariatic, and it was like, I swear they didn't clean the cake batter off of like the mixers, and the Alfredo had vanilla in it.
Mama Lucia's, that's a weird name for a strip club.
Mama Lucia's? I don't know. It's pretty... Hey, you know.
Sorry.
All the women have mustaches. Hey.
They're the hairiest legs. You wouldn't.
The hairiest ever. Yeah, you get a free spaghetti and meatball with every table seat.
And let me tell you something else about these women. Well fed, very well fed.
Very well fed, very robust. Shout out to Gina Carano.
This is Kahuna getting canceled. The speed run, dude. I'm working on.
But I understand what you're saying, and I think that's part of the reason, if not the main reason, this movie is so beloved. Because it's not just corn syrup, Christmas, Elf. It's not Christmas Story schlock. Not that those movies, I love those movies. They're preferable to me. But I understand people have that perspective on it. This one like drags you through the mud a little bit, so that for those of you that like the ending being that much sweeter, because the ending is delicious. I think that's why a lot of people see this as the best Christmas movie. I don't agree with them, but I understand where they're coming from. I'm
of a similar opinion. I think this movie could cure seasonal depression.
I've heard that from people. They're like, I watch this movie whenever I'm feeling down, and it makes me feel better. I'm an enigma. That's right. I'm an Edward enigma. Other good lines there. I like. Was it Annie? Who was the lady in the house that was like the maid or something? She had some good lines. She had like.
I don't remember.
They were talking about the boys making a mess upstairs or carrying on. She's like, "That's why all children should be girls." That cracked me up, dude. That was a good one.
I also appreciate that they like. I'm sorry. I wanted to go back to something too. I appreciate that, like George, like gets very short-tempered with his children. And I'm like, imagine if we didn't see him be the big damn hero for like the entire movie before this. You'd be like, what a piece of garbage, dude.
Dude, I had that feeling even watching that scene. I'm like, it's Christmas Eve, man. I know you're emotional, but like, and the thing is, that's a little bit unfair because he did a good job trying to contain his emotions, but it pissed me off whenever it boiled over to the point where he's yelling at his wife. It's like, dude, she's mother of your 4 children. She cleaned up this house. And he goes in there, he's like, this house is a piece of garbage and everything in here is terrible. And I'm like,
there's no
like, reel it in, bro.
Yeah, and, George, meet a modern woman and tell me, like, complain about stuff, dude.
That is one of the reasons that I made the thumbnail the way that I designed it with the two of them, where the kissing scene. I'm like, that woman, man, what a saint. I know there's an angel in this movie, But other than Clarence and the other two people he's talking to, that woman was an angel. Because God, the things she did for him and for the family and all that.
Oh, I love when the narrate like the time skips forward. It's like then she had 4 more children, and in between her 3 jobs, maintaining the house and homeschooling her 17 children, she also had time to volunteer at the rubber drives and like at the plants.
Yes.
Like getting supplies for the war effort, selling war bonds.
And it drove me crazy too because I mean it's the whole point of the movie is that not only his own life but Mary was right there in front of him and he's like, no, I'm gonna go find something else. And the thing is weird about that is that he was looking for something else and he had it in Violet and he was never into Violet, which I guess was kind of seeding the ground like you don't actually want these things you think you want. You want like the wholesome girl who's gonna be awesome. But it drove me crazy. I'm like, dude, put it together faster. And it's fresh. I mean, it's the kind of thing, though, even as a person, you've gone through life. And for me, I'm like, why didn't I figure this out sooner? So I relate to it in that sense. I'm like, oh, he's like me. He was an idiot. Even with things in front of his face, even somebody smacking him in the ear, it still took him time to figure it all out. And I love, too, that even Violet got a happy ending by the end of the movie where she was going to move to New York. He takes money from her. There's this little side plot, and it all comes full circle, and she ends up coming.
Oh, and the lipstick, too. Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're like your wife didn't think you were having an affair, dude.
Well, yeah, whenever that happened.
Remember that whole subplot? Yeah.
Something else. Like, please stop. And the thing is, they didn't lean too much in it, which was nice on several levels. One, on that sense, and also, two, it was getting a little bit late in the film to throw in another, like, little side.
I kind of think they wanted to do more with it, and they're like, we don't have time.
Another part of this movie I really loved was whenever he's walking with Mary. That whole scene, the first time, whenever he's wearing his rugby outfit and she's got the uniform on because there was a pool party at the dance where the floor opens up.
I
love that
wild.
Scene too.
They don't have that
like,
modern
hey,
day.
You don't like that guy? Well, it just so happens that button over there turns the floor into a dance pool, and here's the key, and you just put it, and they just do it, and it's like
You know how much money that would have cost to make something like that now? I didn't know they had stuff like that back then.
That's crazy,
The writing of it felt very 2000s. So to your point earlier about it feeling very like ahead of its time, like this scene is straight out of a 2000s college
Super
movie.
bad.
Like
Yeah.
scene, like everything, the framing, the dialogue, where it was just kind of schlocky, but also
Like
we
this
all
is
know
like
that
did you guys take this from Accepted or like from Superbad or something?
So they open
Right.
it up and they're walking home and it's the moonlight and it's all, he's talking to the guy. There's a old man on the stoop because they're throwing rocks at the house that they're moving into. He's like, oh, I'll give you the moon, Mary. She's like, oh, what do I do with the thing? He's like, oh, you swallow it. And then the moonbeams will shoot out of your eyes. And it's like, what are you saying, dude?
Like
And then the old guy,
if this was modern times, they'd be like, you're a crackhead, George.
I just love the old guys like, youth is wasted on the young. But the fact that awkward moment where you're with a girl that the whole time you knew was right, and you're trying to make small talk and trying to be funny, and you say something that the bros would have laughed at, but for a lady, they're like, what? The moonbeams will shoot out of your eyes. It's like you'll swallow the moon. It's like, what? Like swing and a miss, like, you idiot. And she came back. She's hiding in the bush, and then he's walking around. Some of the dialogue there was hilarious too. He's like, "Oh, this is a very interesting situation. Every day a man gets into situations.
Maybe
I've read about situations like this." And then she's like, "Ouch!" She's Gazoon.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I bet if I told the boys in town about this, I could sell tickets.
I could sell tickets."
And then she's like, "I'm gonna call the cops." He's like, "The cops will be on my side." Like,
I think they'd be right.
Oh,
I think they'd pay too, actually.
And the thing is too, like, she's kind of like, I'm in trouble, but it's more like, stop it. It's like that whole thing. That scene was that back and forth between them was great, and it creates the setup. Much like the movie in general, we're endeared to him, so we're endeared to them. We're endeared to her, and then later on, where the scene on the phone call where he's kind of being a jerk, we're still rooting for them, and that tension in that scene, that stagnant shot where she's on the phone and it goes back and forth for so long, and then finally they come together. It was like, oh, man, yeah, that was a great moment too.
Well, dude, it shows you kind of how important the and the two things. It kind of shows you how important the inciting incident is, I mean, we all know it's very important. It's more than just a hook, though, as this movie kind of demonstrates. Like, look at all the heavy lifting, the fact that they started the movie with him saving his brother. It means we like him, so we're endeared by him. And then everything, all the charm that the actor adds into it after the fact and what happens after is just like kind of sprinkles on top. That being said, my next point was the moral capitalism that you brought up. I feel like this is a very good example of kind of that. I was thinking about it at the end with everybody pitching their money together. It's like,
oh yeah,
this is a way of collectivism and like community and basically everything that communists like, but it's done in a Western capitalist way, and it shows the positive like outcomes of just like working hard, and like you can always foster community, basically, is what it comes down to.
Yes.
So
I was gonna say it's not too dissimilar from like kind of the vibe of the indie creators like yourself, like myself, like Kahuna, that you're coming together and you're supporting somebody.
I started
else.
crying.
Oh, I'm sure you're not alone in that sense. I felt emotions, but I'm emotionally callous, so there's no tears. I only cried, I think, at my mother's funeral and during A Dog's Purpose, which pissed me off. That stupid movie. I'm like, the dog is fine. The dog is backstage. He's having a biscuit. He's not actually dead. The dog's fine. But it does tug at your heartstrings like that. And I think whenever you're close to the scene, and the way that we might be, where that support matters that much, it's you can see that whenever people come out to support something they love, and you can see the strength of it through that and that sense of community and building those relationships. It's like, oh well, hot dog.
Hot dog, and he thinks his life is like collapsing, but the community comes in at the end, and it's just like, dude, I've literally had this in my life. This is amazing. This is a true story, like, even though it's fiction. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And it really does, like, you impact everybody around you with it. Like, what's that famous quote from Gladiator? Which we should watch Gladiator 1. Oh man, we'll talk about this at the end.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Yeah, no. We'll talk about this at the end, but we might be shifting to a more more populist route with like some of the videos that we watch or some of the movies, just to kind of help the great reset that we've gone through. But I digress. Yeah, it really showed like the great sense of community that you can foster, and it's just an important thing,
and the power of that too. And one thing too, sadly, like real life, is that a lot of times when there's highs, you get smacked in the face with the brick that is lows. Like that scene we were just talking about where he's flirting with this girl and everything's going great, and I'll get you the moon. You got a girl without a robe on stuck in a bush, and you have all the control, and then a car pulls up and it's like, oh, your dad had a stroke. I was like, and that's the kind of thing that I hated that scene in a way, but not because it's not realistic. Just like there's up and downs in the creative sphere. If you're making something, even if you have the community at your back, sometimes you feel like sometimes you get kicked in the balls. Sometimes you got the world against you. And it's easy to lose sight of everything else that's going on. That scene really, you want to talk about emotional swings. It's just like, oh, this scene's like fun and playful.
Yeah, dude.
Reminds me of dating. And then it's just like, no, not his dad. And then the next scene, he's dead. It's just like, stop it. Like, holy crap.
Or how about when
it's intense.
How about when like his life has already collapsed and he's like stressing out about it really hard, and then he comes home, he doesn't say anything yet, and his wife is just like, oh, I love you, and like there's this thing, and it goes through all the typical stuff. Yeah, and it's like if there was satire of this, they would have went through all the story. Oh, and I found this and adopted this cute puppy, and because of your new raise, we could take care of it. Oh, and 2 babies appeared on our doorstep too. We're gonna take care of them too. And it would just go down.
That was one thing. There are several consistents in this movie, but one of them, like the townspeople, they falter a little bit. Like whenever they come in, there's a run on the banks, and they all panic and they want their money out. And it's only because he has the money from their honeymoon that they can make ends meet. But those people they weren't understanding at that point in time. One of the few understanding characters from start to finish is Mary. And she's just like, no matter what happens, I don't remember a single scene where she is ever not just like pleasant and just like
Old
a
Maid Mary.
ray of sunshine.
Old Maid Mary.
Oh, okay, in the flashback towards the end. But in
Yeah.
terms of her actual
The
character,
darkest
and her
timeline
relationship-
Mary. Darkest timeline Mary.
Sure. But
That's
in
what I said.
terms of,
And I couldn't even control myself. I said it out loud while I was watching it. This movie like enthralled me once it really kicked in. It's like,
Yes.
okay, I get it. Context.
Right,
Okay,
right.
2 hours, like an hour and a half in, we're there. And then it's just going. And once that's going, it's like you're hooked. But like Old Maid Darkest Timeline Mary, and I was like, we've stumbled into the darkest timeline. I said that out loud. I was like, this is pretty great.
You're not wrong. Yeah, the movie, and this is a criticism some people would probably give me flack for. I'm like, it should have been a little bit shorter because to your point,
yeah,
it's like context, and once it gets going, you're hooked. And some people, I'm sure the argument is, well, if they didn't have all this context, you wouldn't care as much. Maybe, but
Well,
let me see that
yeah,
cut first. Let me
yeah.
watch that, and then I'll get back to you, and then we can make a decision because it didn't do well in theaters. The only reason it took off is because they forgot to renew the what's it called? The public domain license, which would have cost like $4 in the 70s. So probably a couple $100. They didn't renew it. And the only reason that it really picked up and took off is because all these new TV stations realized they could play this movie for nothing. And so they started playing it for nothing. And it was raking in like $26 million on average per year in advertisements and all this stuff. And it was that whole shtick where it was just like, I don't know. I forget what we were talking about. With Mary as a character, and even though she had the darkest timeline prior to that one, it was just all good stuff, and she was a great support to him, everything he had going on because he was going through turmoil, and even when he came home, and he was mean to her on Christmas Eve, and he's yelling at his kids. She was like the one pillar. And I'm like, yo,
yeah,
that God, man,
the
having
pillar.
a good woman, that makes such a difference.
No, she was,
I love that about
and
it.
she like started the GoFundMe at the end and got the community together. Yeah, she got the GoFundMe going. The Give Send Go, as is the most popular version. Ooh, that's a mess in real life. But anyway.
One thing I can't remember is George always wanted to see the world. That was his whole thing. He had a bit of an up vibe where he was like, yo, I want to go see the world and all this sort of stuff. And he never got to. But at the end, his buddy who wanted to get him into plastics gave him a $25,000 loan or whatever it was. Did they imply that maybe he would still get to see the world or that he was content and knowing he would never get to? That's one thing I'm like, at the end, I was sort of in and out. I couldn't figure that out.
So I think this is one of those things where, like, you know, you got your cabal of writers and they're like, we'll leave it ambiguous, right? And it's like, okay, well, at the same time, it's like, yes, you achieve that. It works. Yeah, sure. But there is an argument to be made that, like, you've established that this is kind of one of the checklist bullet points that the main character has is to, like, see the world. So I guess we're supposed to assume that everything is now okay enough for him to go see the world in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think he will get to see those things. Okay, cool.
He got a boost to his job and stuff. His business is going to do great.
One of the things too, I mentioned this earlier, is that it starts off with prayer, and there's a point where he's so desperate later on. It's whenever he goes to Mr. Potter. They lose the $8,000. He crawls to Mr. Potter and he's like, yo, this is not good. Can you please lend me the money? And we're talking about Mr. Potter being like evil the whole time. He goes and asks him for money, and Potter's like, I'm calling the cops. Like, you're going to jail. I'm going to take everything you own. It's like, dude, this guy's heartless. I almost want, you know, I know all the hotness is doing like the prequel stories about the backstory of these characters. I am semi-curious, like, why is Mr. Potter as evil as he is? Not that I'll be like, yo, get over it. As I will. That will be my take. Always get over it. But I'm curious. I'm like, what happened to you as a kid, dude? Like, why are you so beat up?
The modern take would kind of show that a little bit, but then there'd be an argument that, oh, you're sympathizing the villain because why do we care? Why do we want to understand what his trauma was? And yeah, it would go around in a circle. There's a way to do it, but you would ultimately have to sympathize him a little bit. But the end result you'd have to do. Then you'd have to nudge it a little bit more in the bad guy direction, where he's a little bit more than just a greedy asshole. He needs to be more than an asshole if you're going to sympathize him a little bit. He needs to be like, okay, you're choosing to do that now. That's more than you're evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Have him kick a dog. That's the easy solution. Oh, that guy's evil. Yeah.
Just punt a dog. Hey, what a jerk.
It's the opposite of how they started It's a Wonderful Life. You know how he saved his brother? That's saving the cat. This is, I'm telling you.
The cat under the water.
Yeah, it could have been a cat drowning and not his brother, right?
I love, though, whenever he goes and he begs him for money, and the guy's like, I'm calling the cops, and he's so desperate, and he prays to God, which you don't see in film like ever, unless it's some like hacky, for the most part, Christian film where it's like they have the message in order, but the delivery doesn't hit. And in this one, it's like, yo, that seems real. And I love that. It was like, cool. Somebody's in a desperate situation.
Yeah.
Oh, why not pray? What do you have to lose at that point? And he does. And then right after he prays, I can't remember if it's at the bar where he prays or shortly after, that dude punches him in the face. He's like, I need some help, God. And the dude just decks him. And for anybody that's ever prayed in their life, sometimes be careful, man. You pray for it. God will punch you in the face to get you back on your feet, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he'll knock your ass down, and it sucks. And whenever you ask for it, you're like, yeah, that I asked for that, so I can't be too mad, but it's never fun.
Shout outs to, since our guest tonight, if he might have fallen asleep. It's like 2 a.m. British time. Let me check. Apologies. Hold on. We can reach. Sorry. Oh, okay, he has some family stuff come up. Dang it. Okay.
Oh, bummer.
But he said he'd reschedule. He's a cool guest. Shout outs to Kyle Prometheus. Go follow him. His stuff will be everywhere in the description and stuff. He's a promoter. I'll just go over it quickly. He's a promoter, kind of like us, but like it's his full-time job. So another shout outs to A Drink with Crazy. Royce is kind of in the same vein, or at least was for the most part. I see a Kahuna. Oh my goodness. How long you been spying on us, boy? Yeah. But yeah, shout outs to both of them, Kyle Prometheus and A Drink with Crazy, both promoters in the community, but Kyle, it's a little bit more of a full-time job for him. Like, I think he's a YouTuber for sure, but he does a little bit more just like boots on the ground, like, hey, I'm going to do a promotional thread every day kind of thing. And he gets a lot of eyes on indie projects, particularly comics is kind of how I met him, because when you're promoting a comic campaign, like George Bailey's wife at the end of the movie, she got his comic funded. She got his comic funded.
I thought you meant she was making a comic.
No, she got his comic funded. Yeah, at the end.
I'm giving up baking, hon. I'm working on a comic.
We're doing, yeah.
Well, gosh, what's it about? Oh, geez, I wish you would just keep baking. But
it's about superheroes in the zombie apocalypse.
Now I really want to see the sequel. Actually,
it's like what, dude?
She covered for his debts. She showed off her ankles. Made a little bit of money.
Yeah. What's the implication there?
Now,
what is the implication?
Did any of you guys make it to the point where he's talking to Clarence? He gets ready to jump in the river, and that's a crazy scene because he's about to jump, and you see some other guy on the bridge. You're like, what's going on? And then that crazy bastard jumps in the bridge
Then he ends up jumping anyway.
And then he has to save him, just like he saved his brother, and in saving him, he sort of saves himself. Was an interesting little, whether it was intentional or not. I assume it was because it was the 40s, and people were just more thoughtful because they had the internet brain rot to detract from their attention spans. That whole scene was interesting. So I'm wondering, I'm getting late here. Forgot my train of thought.
You're getting late here?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, that's intense. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Boys, I'm distracted. It happens. It is Tuesday.
you just hear the table.
Oh shoot, what was it? I had a good point and I forgot what it was. It was something about
Clarence, sewer slide, bridge jumping, extreme sports in the 40s.
Okay, yes, you got me. Whenever he gets to the point where he's like, "Hey, you know what? I realize he's an angel." He's like, "Well, I don't believe you're not an angel." He's like, "I'm gonna show you what life is like if you were never here." And a part of me was like, "What would that be?"
It's like it's heavy, isn't it? It's a weirdly heavy part.
It. Yeah, you can't comprehend that. It's like a fourth dimension kind of thing, but you try to contemplate, and I'm like, to your point, very heavy. I'm like, holy cow! Like, who have
it's where it turns Lovecraftian.
I feel like angels in movies who do that need to be careful. It's like, maybe if maybe this guy shouldn't see how much better people would be off if he weren't here.
Suddenly,
I don't know, man.
Suddenly, Clarence just fades into the shadows, and then you never see his face for the rest of the movie. And then he's a voice coming from George's shadow, and he shows him what life is like if he never existed.
It's just like, oh, you're a monster. You only did bad things to people.
H.P. Clarence, yeah.
I feel like
I like when the angels are talking too, and they're like, and it's like just old people from the Bible. And it's like, we're all so busy. What about Clarence? He's not doing anything. yeah.
It's pretty good.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Joseph.
It's like send the intern. Don't let any of the paid employees go do that.
H.P. Clarence is like, sorry, Joseph, I decided to ditch the wings. This guy's a cuck. I'm gonna teach him a real lesson, H.P. Clarence style.
Oh no!
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm glad I'm gone. This is the right choice. Leave me in the river. Oh.
Yeah. He's like, let me show you why it's good that you just jump, because look what's just under the water, deep ones, a city of deep ones. God. Where do you think Atlantis went?
You could go so dark with this, where it's just a normal guy, and the angel shows up to show him, like, hey, this is what would happen, and it's the complete opposite. Did y'all notice that Bert and Ernie were the names of those two characters? Is that a Sesame Street thing? It is, right?
I know.
In the 40s? I don't think Sesame Street was around in the 40s.
It's got to be Sesame Street referencing that.
Like somebody grew up watching it. It has to be. It was like, hey, Bert, hey, Ernie, oh. Yeah. I assume so. I saw that. I was like, I did the whole that guy.
Like weird associations. Like whenever I hear the name Ernie, I think of the third Harry Potter film, because like the bus driver, the bus driver, and the Jamaican.
Oh yeah, man, Ernie.
Look at the way Ern.
This is the way Ernie.
Dude, we should watch Cool Runnings sometime. That'd be another good one.
That would be fun. We gotta watch all the big ones.
We should watch Dazed and Confused. I've never seen it. I'd like to see it.
I haven't either. I own it. I haven't seen it. I'm with you. All I know is he goes, all right. That's all I know about the movie.
This is great. This is what's great about what we do here. Trying to build this community up. We get to think about oh, it'd be cool to watch that. Well, why not? We have a good reason to, and then do a review and make content about it. It's actually super fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's fun.
Snaps.
Yes, Queen.
Yes.
Yes.
Me and my non-functioning fingers trying to snap.
I know I have more thoughts about this movie, but I think I covered more or less everything I had about it, I think.
Except it being in the war.
You said it's public domain, right?
Yeah, that was my understanding, is in the 70s, they did not renew their public domain license, and because of that, that's why all these TV stations picked it up, and why it went, why it was so readily available. And again, from what I read, it's making like $26 million a year during the Christmas season, and that money's not going to the director or the creator, whatever, because they didn't renew the license.
I don't think the director's still around. Color me pessimistic, but
I thought they'd just take the money and just pour it onto his grave.
Just stack it neatly.
You think a man that did a film in the 1940s is no longer alive? How dare you?
I think maybe I think maybe since it's public domain, I will do some sort of arcade chronicle. I'll call it a life.
That's what you're people like you. That's what I'm worried about. Now we have all these people that are gonna make a horror version of this movie.
Yes, you got it. Yes. You got it. A life of.
Can you just do a complete scene reenactment, but with orcs in the frozen tundra of our day?
I could. But the thing is what's the funnest route? Do I do orcs, reptilians, goblins, kobolds, bird people, fish people, people?
I think for sure you should make Mr. Potter a lizard.
Dwarves? Oh yeah, a lizard for sure. My dwarves are cool. They're hairless, big eyes. But yeah, like I call it like a life of strife, and then like
Wait,
maybe
pause, rewind. My dwarves are cool. No hair, big eyes.
no hair.
And then we're just moving on from that.
Yeah, hairless, big eyes, hunched over like Gollum, actually.
We're cool.
Yeah. You need big eyes to see in the dark. Underground in them mountains.
So
This book has too much eyes.
So
What do you need hair
Asian
for?
Persuasion dwarves.
What do you need hair for? They're also pale.
The Asians are halfway there for that.
Yeah, fair. Big round, beady eyes.
Well, like
Very-
if you made a mole people, they use their hair to feel in the dark. That's all.
Oh, see, there's a good example. And then you could argue that it's drafty because it's all stone. Cold.
Did you guys ever read that Robert E. Howard story about the people from like the Subterraneans?
No, tell me about it.
There's these young teenage siblings, like the older boy and the younger sister, and they're out playing in the Scottish moors, like in old castles and ruins.
Already, what a good setting! What a good setting right off the
dude.
bat. Right off the
Howard
bat.
He's the goat.
Like you didn't even tell me. I was like, I'm ready to criticize it because it's Howard, right? But and then like it's like this is why he's Howard because like that you don't even need to have any other part of the story. You just saying that's there. You could tell any story in the moors of Scotland with like starting off with like a child playing. Like that's creepy. Like why why are we in this situation? This is compelling as shit already, you know?
Oh yeah, it's late at night and they're talking about legends. Like we've heard these are legends from the villages around here, and they always say they come out at night in the moonlight because the sun is too bright for them.
Yeah.
And then his sister gets abducted.
Abducted.
And how does he summon the strength to
shit.
defeat these vicious little monsters? He has blood memories of his ancient ancestors slaughtering these things. He grabs a stick and just
blood memories.
Stick. Yeah, his ancestors used to slaughter these things and drove them underground. And
that's almost jumping the shark. You're like, bro, this dude's about to jump the shark, and then you watch, and then he jumps the fucking shark, and you're like, that was actually kind of cool. Please continue the story. It's like,
yeah.
No, it's dramatic, but that's pretty much it. He's like, oh yeah, no, like this is in my blood. We used to kill these things like by the thousands.
How convenient. Badass.
I kind of want to start a cringe takes channel where I start off
Is
with
it just
my
you giving
hard mode.
any opinion?
Yeah, yes. And opinion 2 is jumping the shark is based.
Yes, dude.
Terrible example. Terrible example as to why jumping the shark was actually great. When Fonzie jumps the shark, the show was getting boring. Just these relationships, these intricacies, and nuances to how the characters talk to each other. No, I need something out of left field. We needed Fonzie to be cool again.
He punched jukeboxes enough. We needed him to jump a shark.
Okay, you know the show. Kahuna, do you know the show? You know Happy Days?
Never watched it.
Happy days.
Have you seen the Weezer video for Buddy Holly?
Punching jukebox, happy days.
You're like an elder Gen Z.
Yeah.
Or
No,
no,
I'm a
younger Gen Z.
millennial.
Wait, you're a millennial?
Yeah,
You know
my sister might be Gen Z. Might be.
Elder
I got the
millennial.
language backwards anyway. I'm trying to pick on you. It backfired. I don't know. I can't believe you haven't seen Buddy Holly. That's surprising.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
That's pretty sweet coming from a baby boomer. Ugh.
Long story short, Fonzie punches jukeboxes for a bunch of seasons, and they're like, "What do we even write about anymore?" And so instead of punching a jukebox, they have him literally jump a shark on water skis, and it was like so far removed.
I do know about that.
From how the show starts. Just think about those two things, right? Like a very mundane thing, like I'm gonna punch this jukebox and it's gonna magically work. Hey, that's a cool thing. You can see that in real life. You can see that in real life, right? But then, like, when did we get to jumping sharks on water skis? Like, and that's why everybody refers to that because it's like
it just things escalated.
No, I understand that he does it. I understand what it means when people reference it. I've just never seen the show.
Oh, dude, it's a fun show. It's not good, but it's not bad. It's like you watch it and you're like, yeah, this is fine. It's one of those, you know.
I think we should,
especially if you're at your grandfather's house and it's either that or dog fights of World War II at Volume 90. So
I thought you meant like dogs fighting. Okay.
No, World War II dogfights. See that on full volume, 72 on like a 43-inch 4x3, or
He
you
he
get some
starts
Happy
having a
Days on it.
freaking war flashback, whips out the vacuum cleaner, jumps behind the couch.
They had a sword within reach, but yeah, vacuum cleaner was fine too.
Yeah. Dude, World War II dogfights.
Just fencing my grandfather in the living room.
Right. We should do a jumping
At first you were scared, and then you started feeding the delusion like, no, Gramps, they're over there.
First I had the hand in front of me, like, oh my gosh, and then I got to the point where I put it behind my back, got a little more confident, a little more poised, on guard, stabbed him in the shoulders to show him what's what, At first I was trying to just like, anyway,
stab him in the shoulder, show him what's up.
I don't know why this
brings some dominance.
I don't remember why. I don't know why it reminded me of this, but at the very ending of the first season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the manga and the TV show, it shows the main character when he's older. He was like this British aristocrat, and he's in the airport, and some Japanese employee at the airport, stamps his ticket, and he looks over and just punches him in the face. He's like, my daughter married one of those Japanese. I hate the Japanese. The show ends.
Oh no.
The show ends.
I love that.
This is a Japanese thing. Why?
Dude, this is putting me in the mood to want to write a flash fiction. Because, dude, that the most recent one is so funny. I've just been sitting on it. It's basically done too this whole time. I could just hit space, enter, and then just say the end, and then send it, and it would actually kind of work. So I just got to get on that. But this is putting me in the mood to do that a little bit.
You just gave me an idea for one too. Just
yeah,
based on what you just said. I'm like, oh, everybody, did you guys ever see Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Norm. Norm sucks. He's there's something just in that name alone.
He's never doing anything.
I want to write one where we have the ultimate villain. He does anything you can do in a movie or a book to be look like a villain. He does. He's like, oh well, I just hate women, and he kicks a dog walking by for no reason.
You gotta kick the dog. Yeah. Oh, and you just so you just he has traits that it's almost like he's going out of his way to be fucking unlikable as shit.
Oh yeah, like an old man falls in the street in front of him. He leans down. You think he's gonna help him up, and he just steals his wallet.
That's hilarious, actually. To be honest, I'm thinking Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty, but pure evil.
Fantasy version, a wizard version of that.
Okay, this could literally just be Edward Skellyhands because he's the recurring.
Actually.
And he didn't do much. He literally mocks. He says get good, so he's already evil.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Right, Evalie?
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
I yes.
Yeah.
I like the idea there's a flash fiction where it's just a bunch of minor mean things he's done to people to hype up how evil he is. Is at one point a woman offers him a place to stay, and he's like, not from a slut, or so just something really.
Yeah.
I was thinking he goes into the establishment where they have the pennies, where it's take a penny, leave a penny, and he picks it up and just pours it into his coin purse. That's what I was thinking in terms of evil.
He goes to a wishing well and just starts grabbing.
Holy shit!
He shit! Squeegee just starts squeegeeing him out.
I'm going to write this episode. It's going to be called Wonderful Skellyhands, or a Skellyhands Life. It's going to be called a Skellyhands Life. Norm, Bones, and Akua will not be featured in it. If so, very quickly, right at the beginning or end. And the entire thing is just going to be a montage of exactly what you're saying. Terrible things Skellyhands has done.
No. Our guys should be around a fire on the ship, which would be funny as well.
Yes.
A campfire on the deck.
On the deck.
But no, it would be Norm asking. It's like, well, what has Skelly actually done that's so bad? And then like he'd show all of these terrible like little things.
Gather around, my friend. Gather
Okay,
around.
that's gonna be the next one. Then I'll finish this one up, and then that's what I'll literally do. Because now's the
Norm
time to do it
dies
because we just introduced Skelly Hands. But go on.
Norm dies of prudish shock. He's just like he can't take it. It's like not bad, but his heart stops anyways.
He dies of pearl clutching.
Is he a prude? Is he like a? Is he a prude?
A little bit.
prude.
He has a little bit of
normie, man.
He has some employee DNA.
Little prude.
He's just a normie, you know.
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah.
He's not used to things. He's a short-term memory. He's like a golden retriever, you know. Things shock them.
Right.
And then at like the last act is like, oh yeah, he also got many fines when he was in the major city, from the local constabulary, and he just never paid his fine.
You gotta prove this is another bizarre synchronicity, man. I had a lady talking to me today about fines she hasn't paid. She's like, "Yeah, that bill for $30 from running that traffic light, now it's $600," and I'm just like, "I'm not paying that." This is a conversation I had today.
Yep.
So this is bizarre. This is like the fifth thing that's popped up. I'm like, that's a weird sync.
We gotta write it. Gotta write it. So you guys should.
Skelly has like a huge bounty, but not for any of his major crimes. Just for all of the fines he's collected.
All the little ones.
He parked his cart in the wrong spot.
Yes.
What is smaller than a paper cut? It's death by 10 trillion. I don't know.
Pinpricks. Pinpricks.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
You don't want to say death by pricks because that's a different.
No, that makes it good. Death by prick. That's
maybe
that's the moral.
I think what I'll do instead of like trying to overthink it and cleverly have even though it would be a fun challenge, don't get me wrong. Instead of having each character trying to cleverly like weave each like micro story of Skelly Hands doing something evil into one flash episode, it's crazy. I think what I'll do is I'll just like do scene, and then like, separate them with asterisks. And we'll just do an anthology episode.
It'll be wonderful, whatever it is. I'm sure it'll be.
Yeah.
It always is.
It would be funny if he's also in town one day and it's like, oh yeah, no, he's a bad guy. He'd sell his mother for a great, and then he does.
And then he does, yeah. Okay, Mom, where do you want to go?
Oh, no.
Dude, I'm telling you,
it's
Step
Brothers. Like, I swear to God, Mom, when you are of age, I'm putting you in a home.
I should put on an interdimensional cable, a Rick and Morty interdimensional cable supercut on YouTube. I should do that and then just like rewatch the interdimensional cable supercuts because it's kind of what I'm talking about. Like what we're saying. That's all you need. Oh, okay, Mom, where do you want to go? Oh, I was thinking we could eat at Red Lobster, whatever. And then he's like,
too much money.
So anyway, my mom's over there.
He
got the money.
He dined and dashes on her too.
Yeah, just leaves his mom.
With the bill.
Dude, yes. I like the idea of selling his mom. That's where his mom went. He sold her. Skelly Hands. For what? A Skelly dog?
Oh.
They did it for a Skelly dog because he thinks it's cool.
Like something stupid, like a wand or a staff with a really bad.
I like that one, and then it cuts to the next
like
scene.
Euro imports design of some kind.
Yeah, dude. Magic item, just random. He doesn't even have control over it. It's just like a chance at a good magic item. Yeah.
Oh, it's like one of those things, like the balls where they hit each other and just keep on going. Except they don't have string, and that's it. It's just like
so he literally didn't need it. It's just cool. Oh my god, that's amazing. So yeah, you guys got to put these ideas in the comic chat and the Discord so I can fire away because. Evalie, when I asked you what Norm would do in Akua's body with magic powers, your little short list was really handy for me to it became my outline to the story, to be honest.
I don't even remember what I write, so that's going to be fun to read that because I'm like, I don't know what I wrote.
It's pretty good. You're like,
I'm not responsible for what I say. Just happens.
I'm like a golden retriever, man. Like I'm in the moment. I'm chasing a ball, but like, what color is the ball? I don't know, man. I was just chasing the ball.
I'm humping a couch, chasing a ball, squirrel, eating food, making litters.
What did the couch have stripes or was it just plain? I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
Before
baby.
Before we head out of here, do you guys think it sinks or floats? Wonderful Life.
Oh,
Okay. So
Clearly.
this is a movie.
It floats above the waters of chaos.
There needs to be a term for this kind of movie where it's like, it's very good. You should watch it. If I never see it again, I'm fine with that. There needs to be a term for this kind of movie. It's like a
Not
Forrest
for
Gump
this
type
movie.
I don't. If I never see this again, I don't care. But it's very good. So I don't know what the term is for that. There needs to be something because I've seen a lot of movies that, like Saving Private Ryan, really good movie. I don't want to ever watch it again. Even Black Hawk Down to a lesser extent, really good movie. I don't want to watch it again. There's some movies that are just like heavy and intense and whatever for whatever reason.
Kind of a downer. Passion of Christ.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I sent you guys that clip. The woman who's the archivist for Capra's movies said that he didn't view it as a Christmas movie because there's a large portion of it that's kind of a downer. Her exact words. She called it a downer. And I spit my coffee all over myself. I burned myself. The dog was running around. And I'm like, yo, AC says that. That's the AC's thing. And
that's our thing now. Yeah.
Oh, it's ours. Oh.
It's gonna go on the shirt.
It's a communist thing now. It's our thing.
It's ours. It's never yours again. You will never own it. You'll love it.
Maybe I'll make like bright yellow text emoji, like a bright yellow text emoji that just says downer for the Discord.
Downer. So in that sense, it's a very good movie. People that watch it every year, I'm like, I get it. But I'm not going to ever be that guy.
It's not my favorite Christmas movie, but it might be the best Christmas movie.
No. I don't like that at all.
How do you think it holds up as a noir? How do you think it holds up as a noir? But the definition of noir.
I think some of the shots work really well. I think George is not a goody two shoes. He has his demons for sure.
It's okay. Well, hold on. Noir genre. A genre of film or fiction categorized by cynicism, fatalism, crime, moral ambiguity, and moral ambiguity.
It doesn't fit that. It doesn't fit that though.
Right. I think if it does, it's barely right. Yes. Because I do see some of that, like some of the darkness. Like we keep talking about how it gets dark and it's heavy. Like that's because it is kind of noir-y at times. Like that GIF that you shared, Evalie, of him in the snowstorm, where he looks like it's just brutal looking. It's like that's dope. Like it's noir, dude. High saturation.
There are moments of it, but that's definitely not the It's not the point. To you.
It is not It's not a cynical movie. If you sum up it in totality, there's a little crime.
Little crime.
Yeah.
Little crime.
I mean, technically, Potter didn't steal that money, but.
And another follow-up question.
It was gifted to him. It was.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It was never given back either. He just took it, didn't he?
He just kept it.
You know what? I'd be curious. And you guys might be like, "You're an idiot." And this is something that one of our Discord members, great dude, brought up is
multiverse.
What is no? That was brought up too. But
we got to mention
it. In terms of a sequel sense, okay, he has this one high. His life has been tricky. Is he truly able to just be like, life is great and he can just focus from that point onward? Or is the sequel, he still struggles with things? He still has more downs and it's not just up and ups. And that's an interesting point because I love movie endings where everything ends on a happy note because that's what I want out of a movie. I want escapism. But if it's
you want Harry Potter book one, you want Harry Potter 1 and 2 kind of endings.
Mm-hmm.
Crowds are cheering. It's happy music.
And cynics.
That sounds great. Even what was it? Episode 6, right? Where they stand on the thing and they're like, "Here, have a medal." Was that 6?
No.
Can't remember.
No. At the end, Dumbledore gets killed at the end of.
No. Star Wars episode 6.
Oh no, that's episode. No,
they give Dumbledore a medal before they off him though. That was my favorite
I think
part.
that was at the end of 1.
And then they kill him, and I was like, oh my god, they give a medal first? That's not right.
No, that was 1 for killing the Death Star. Remember, destroying thousands of lives.
Star Wars episode 4, and then in episode 6 they celebrated killing millions on the second Death Star by using their empty helmets as drums.
Look, Harry Potter ended with Dumbledore getting a medal and getting in the pod racer. There's one of them.
That's how Harry Potter ended. Yeah.
And then
And he drives
Chewbacca
into the
loosing the Deathly Hallows.
Then he looked over, had the one ring on his hand, and
Chewbacca
said,
microdosing.
"Go in
It was
peace."
Chewbacca Quidditch.
He's just tripping balls. Up
Quidditch
in the,
Chewbacca. He becomes the MVP of the Quidditch.
AI needs this crossover for real. He'd
Like,
be a great goalie. He's long.
Catches
He's
that
got the fur to stop
Quidditch.
the ball or whatever they do in Quidditch.
Oh, I asked Grok to do something weird the other day.
No.
I said, Grok, I need you to write a book of the Bible called the Book of Kahuna.
Oh no!
It didn't work, but it did like I wanted it to be based off of my posts, but it wouldn't do that. So it was
Try
just like,
ChatGPT.
Yeah. And you just needed to do single verses at a time, and then you can start stitching something together.
Yeah.
But no, what did work was I said, hey, I want Bible stories that are compatible with Hawaiian mythology, and it broke that down really well, actually.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I like
then
the
you
idea
can
of it.
you can slide Kahuna in there. That's all I was gonna say.
Kahuna always slides in there.
I like the idea of it being like 4:20 and you're driving 4:21. You're driving down the highway and it's morning and you're barely awake. You're sipping on your Hawaiian coffee, your delicious Hawaiian coffee. The sun isn't even rising yet. And you're like, you know what, Grok? I got a mission for you.
I got a mission.
That's like,
And,
4
of
in the
course-
morning. Just commuting bored out of your mind. Like, I need something to do. Like, Grok, I need to wake up. I need you to write me a book from the Bible about Kahuna. Make it happen.
Yep.
I did test that out. I'm like, hey, write me a Hawaiian version of the Samson story from the Bible.
Amazing. And just to immerse everybody in the audience a little bit more, a Hawaiian coffee is just black Colombian coffee with a pineapple slice.
Wait, what?
With a pineapple wedge.
Is that true?
It's
Hawaiian?
weird.
What are you smoking,
Hawaiian
boy?
chat, this is accurate.
Hawaiian
Yeah, no.
herb.
We don't need Hawaiian
okay.
chat. You have me. No,
It's just pineapple leaves. That's what Hawaiian herb
Hawaiian
is.
coffee is
It's like
very
Hawaiian-
it's like nutty, right? Nutty and fruity.
They like to mix it with macadamia.
I'm sure it's
I
it's
like
great.
macadamia nuts. Oh, you guys charge too much for those. Frankly,
great.
too much for the macadamia nuts. They're very
Too much
expensive.
for the nuts.
Why
Terrifying.
you out in the middle
You
of
know
the water?
how hard we have to squeeze that fruit to get the nut out.
Oh yeah. You
Well,
guys.
apparently very hard based on what I pay for them. Jeez. Can't
I
get
use
them
my
in
right
China?
hand. It's stronger.
on that note, I'll play a few more clips. Oh, real quick, I do want to get that theory that our community member said. The multiverse theory, shout outs to It's a Wonderful Life for getting the multiverse out before it was cool. He showed him a different timeline. Here's a different universe where you don't exist. Boom, multiverse. Getting it out before it was cool. And when you think about, you said it was floating around for 20 years, right?
10.
There you go. So it's even
12.
older. So
11.
yeah.
Also, what was it? It's like this Christmas story was dark, but a lot of Christmas stories are dark. Think about Scrooge, the first angel who visits him, or the first one who visits. Yeah, the first angel who visits him is his friend from hell, covered in chains. That story's pretty metal, dude.
Yeah.
You go through all the way through it.
That's why A Christmas Story is still my favorite, because it never gets that heavy. It's basically it's Christmas start to finish, and it's kind of light and silly and quotable the entire time. Which is why it's my
He
favorite.
teaches his son to swear. Abuse.
No, it was an accident. And then that kid gets smacked on the phone. What?
That kid gets whacked.
He's got the soap in his mouth. You hear the kid getting beat in the back.
Also, that kid, he did not have to throw his friend under the bus at all.
No, he didn't. He made a bad choice. He should have done that to
He
his
never
friend.
did.
Was it Flick? Poor Flick. Flick was getting smacked.
The mom's listening, and he's just wailing in the background. Mom, stop!
Yes.
Dude, that is some good humor though, in a certain context, in a skit format. I don't know, just hearing that in the background when you're trying to ask something serious would be kind of fucking hilarious out of context.
Also, speaking of out of context,
go ahead.
It's not quite out of context, but have you all ever sweared and had to eat soap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Bar soap, especially Irish Springs, kind of pleasant, kind of not bad.
Liquid.
Dial liquid soap
Liquid.
is vile, dude.
Liquid.
That stuff. Oh my god, it tastes like stomach bile. It's brutal. You like coughing up bubbles out of your like eye sockets and stuff.
I
Liquid
can
is
taste it
brutal.
right now. Thanks.
Yeah, dude, you've had it.
Yeah.
Bar soap, not so bad. It's tolerable. You just leave it in there. Yeah.
Why can I taste soap? That's so weird.
But dial,
So,
dial.
I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. I had to force myself to use shampoo as a young child because anything that was that texture, anything between soap and lotion, anywhere near my mouth or my nose, it's the only pathological thing about me. It makes me
instantly snort it.
Lose my shit.
Oh, gotcha.
Like that. That's why I never used suntan lotion when I was a kid, because I didn't want it on my hands because they would end up in my by my face or in my mouth, and I couldn't handle it. It's the most pathological thing about me.
Kahuna IQ 190 confirmed right now. Confirmed.
Yeah, I have that about things too. I can't think. Like deep water that you can't see the bottom of. Holy fuck! That just just makes my knees weak. It's almost like vertigo.
Yeah, dude, AC. That's where the fun. That's where the fun happens.
Oh yeah.
There's this area in Hawaii. If you in Hawaii, you swim out far enough from the beach, and it's getting deeper gradually, and then it gets deeper gradually, and then it drops.
Yeah, and then you're a bath toy, and then you're just a bath toy. Not even. You're like a speck. You're like a little bubble.
I'm just a bath toy. Don't squeak me. Ooh.
Don't squeak me. Oh.
The worst is when you're out there and you get wrecked by a big set and you're so deep under that you don't know which direction's which, and you just have to float and wait to see which direction is up by the way you float. I hate that.
Oh my god.
That's not a good feeling.
I've had one that's a little bit worse than that, but it's different because you have no control. I've been in a tumble. It took me about 250 yards.
Nice.
In a tumble. That's how far it took me underwater when I got.
Machine, bro.
I've never felt.
Dude, I was sitting. I was there long enough. I was there long enough. I said, "How long is this going to take?"
Yeah.
Nice.
So what does reverse vertigo feel like then, where it's above your head instead of below you? You know how vertigo you're like.
It's when you get really.
Right.
We call it being white. I don't know what that's.
Okay, interesting. What's it like being white? I've never.
What?
It's like a reverse vertigo. You heard it here.
Like the sky? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How could you possibly feel that? Well, but it's it's true though, because you're like, you said you didn't know which way was up. You had to wait for yourself to float to find out.
Yeah, dude, that sucked.
So you have vertigo in every direction at that moment. It's all around you. Like it's just endless in every direction.
It's like one of those sensory deprivation chambers. Like you hear the waves crashing because you're underwater and you hear the noise, but you're like, I don't know what direction it's coming from.
Right.
There are two things
but you figure it out fast.
There are two things you can do. You close your eyes, and wherever it is brightest with your eyelids closed, that's where you swim. Or you get your eyes so used to salt water you can see like you see through the salt water like you have goggles.
You're giving me like waking nightmares now. Like I imagine closing my eyes and turning to where it's lighter, swimming. It's the wrong direction. I'm swimming down into the darkness, and there's
he saw a white boat sunk on the bottom.
Dude, you're insane. You're triggering me over here.
Oh no, AC! If this is getting you, I got worse stories.
Dude,
I got spooked one time. There was a floating jellyfish tentacle, and it got wrapped around my bicep and stung me. Yeah. And I realized I'm like 2 or 3 football fields away from shore. And so I turned around and started swimming back, and then I feel something touching my shoulder.
No,
I'm looking to the right, and I feel
devil.
something.
It was the devil.
Tiger shark.
No, but like I'm swimming. I'm looking at a parrotfish to my right, and I feel something touching solidly my left shoulder, and it doesn't stop. It's not like a touch. It was like rubbing against it.
A webbed 5-digit hand, a 5-digit webbed hand is just like caressing at you, trying to grip, but your
Her
back
name
is
is Griselda.
Up, and you're just barely getting away. Yeah.
But no,
now your body's locking up because of the jellyfish sting, and you're just like barely getting along. It's a great story.
Swim like this.
Really a great story.
No, I turn and it's a green sea turtle. And it's
about
it's probably 200 plus pounds, so almost as big as I was at that time.
See, that doesn't
And
freak me out.
I looked over. It looked over at me. Its eyes like this. Its eyes like right here, and it looks
About
over
that
at me.
big.
And I don't touch it, but it's literally touching shoulders with me for maybe 45 seconds.
It was
just
ready to
swimming through
help.
the water that
It saw
way.
what happened. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is the Aquaman movie. This
Yeah.
is what happened.
This kind of thing has happened. I've had like 4 or 5 stories like with turtles like this.
You're
It
the real
always
Jason
happens.
Momoa. What does that mean, dude? There's some lore there. What do turtles mean, dude?
Dude, there is. No, there's all
What
kinds of stuff there. I'm gonna look
do
into it.
turtles mean?
But to completely counter and
turtles.
soil that, there's this thing called like tichophobia or something like that. I don't know the specifics,
like
but it's
that.
like yeah. And there's a whole genre of videos on YouTube that I hate. But yeah,
You're
they're
just
all
freaking yourself out for no reason, man.
literally, yeah. And I don't know how like it just sits there untouched, but like I guess like some people just don't have like that sense in their brain where it's just like normal to them. But like, dude, some of that is wild. Like colossuses, like a Greek colossus underwater, and like from your point of view, because it establishes a point of view from your perspective, right? And that's what it's all about, is fucking with perspective. And almost all the time water is involved, because that's a great way to mess with your perspective and to make it a realistic enough situation in a ridiculous context to trigger your phobia that I'm sure everybody has to a degree.
I got a story for you.
Yes.
A good friend of the family, George Kahumoku, they were in an old-fashioned canoe, and they were out there and they were fishing. The canoe is 16 feet long. They have a bunch of people in the canoe, and a shark pulls up alongside it. It is maybe 2 feet longer than the boat. And by right up alongside it, I meant they could touch it. And they did. It was a tiger shark. It turned its eye out of the water and looked at them. And they thought at first he thought the shark had facial hair, but it was just like hundreds of hooks that had been hooked on its nose and in its mouth with a thread hanging.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And they're like, we're getting like it's wider. The fish is wider than the canoe.
It's old Hookbeard. Yeah, I heard about him.
It's so cool. I might use that as something.
That fella loves marshmallows. You gotta give him marshmallows. He'll go away.
Put a little marshmallow on the hook. Get it, buddy. Go get it. He can
Everybody
never
else
get
is
it.
using fish, man. He's like, I want that fish.
He will never get
it. And then there was my dad. He was out there in Honokohau Valley surfing on Christmas Day. And there are locals out there. It's like Hawaiians play hot potato with anti-white prejudice over there, like the islands do. It's like every 15, 20 years they switch. I don't know why. It's a thing. But it was on Maui at that time when my dad was living there. So he's out there and like they're all like, fucking Howley. Like he doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, look at this stupid hair. Skinny arms, anyway. But he's out there. My dad sees a fin in the water. He's like, oh, that's not ideal. Maybe like 20 feet in front of him. And then about 10, 11 feet behind it, he sees the tail move. And so that means this shark is like 14 or 15 feet long.
That's too big.
And and out there, it's probably a tiger shark, which is like one of the most aggressive sharks in the world. So he starts swimming back. He's about to catch a wave. He's like, I better warn this guy, even if he's a kind of local D-bag. Anyway, rolls over to him, and he looks over, and he's like, hey man, there's a shark back there, a big one. He's like, oh, well, he's like, my dad, he's kind of looking back there. He's like, my dad's like, are you concerned? He's like, no, I'm not. But you should be. My dad's like, well, why? He's like, look down. He looks down. My dad's feet are white. They look like a dead fish in the wall, like 4 feet below the water on a surfboard. He's like, those are we call those fishing lures. Get the hell away from me.
They call those fishing lures, yeah. No, you don't start as somebody with like, I don't know. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I have a full on phobia, but like I almost drowned as a kid. So deep water really just freaks me out for some reason. I perceive it in a different way. It literally is just like, it seems endless, and like anything can be done there, even if it's just, oh, you're clearly in a pool, you know. But it's not like crazy. It's not like a full on phobia, but I would say a little sensitive, like especially when I was a kid.
Would you swim out into the open ocean?
It depends. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly
coming
don't know.
back.
I can say yes, I would right now, but then how would I? And how far out would I get before this like sensitivity starts kicking in?
It depends. There are areas where I don't swim out unless I'm really on my game, because there's a couple areas, especially in the islands, where you get a riptide, and it will pull you out faster than you can swim back. So
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
was,
fight
man.
it. You have to
Fuck
go
that.
over away from it.
Yep.
It's like literally like it will pull you up faster than you can swim if you're trying to go out there. It
But you
looks
don't
like they're like on a conveyor belt underwater. Is what it looks like.
you don't
Crazy.
start freaking me out with the shark size though, because I'm in that context. My point of view is inside of a boat. So basically, I'm as big as the boat. So basically, like the shark's as big as the boat. Cool, that's not that crazy. Oh, it's a whale that looks like it can almost eat the boat, and it's coming up at you directly from below, like with its mouth open. That's freaking me out at that point. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
boat is
whales.
just a bath toy. Then
Whales
if the
are
boat
wild,
itself
man.
is the small thing, then
AC, I
we have a
gotta
problem.
challenge that assertion. That only works if you're in a boat. Do you know how big a
Yeah.
2.5-foot fish is when you're in the water with it?
Right. It starts kicking in if I'm in the water, right? If you said like, yeah. If everybody's in the water and then like it's just kind of a different perspective. Now you with the same shark, then you can start like creeping me out. But like, it's weird. It's weird how like phobias and like weird sensitivities like that work. You know, I know my mom was like afraid of heights, so maybe there's some sort of like thing with that too, where it's combining.
That's a common fear in women actually is a fear of heights.
I believe it.
That's why they're shorter.
Yeah.
Wow, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. We up in it all day, boys.
Maji-chan's just like, I'm trying to be a fan of the show. Trying to be a fan of the show.
They're so misogynist. Cancel them. Maji's gonna cancel us. She's gonna cancel us. It's done. It's over.
All right. We can call it here, boys. I know Justin's
all right.
like it's his nap time.
We went over, but it
3
was
a.m. where I'm
for
at.
good
It's
conversation.
3 in the morning right now. I gotta
Oh,
be up
Jesus.
at 5. It's 3 a.m. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll play a couple clips on our way out, and then everybody, you have a good night. Thanks for joining us. Watch It's a Wonderful Life. It holds up. It's good. Next week we got Maji-chan watching
sir.
what? The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser week.
Yeah, it's a
Dale
horror
Maji.
film about a really bad mother in England.
It's also a
Mummy.
love story and a Christmas story. So everybody join us
Mummy.
next week for the next
Mummy.
Christmas movie, The Mummy,
Yes.
with Maji-chan. Cheers,
The Mummy
everybody.
might be the best last adventure
Christmas
film.
I agree. And Brendan Fraser's.
Can we just say
really
can we introduce all movies as a Christmas movie?
It's a Christmas
We need to.
classic.
Dude, until the meme dies, let's do it. Let's do it. It's official now. It's canon. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night. Until the next Christmas
night.
movie.
Also, Maji challenges us next week. That's good.
Cheers.
This is Sparta!
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. So if you could be here around 9.
Well, fine. You know what, Barney? Give this guy a cigarette. He's freaking out. Huh? Who? Barney. He's the guy who tipped me off to Pepe Sylvia.
Barney? Who the hell is Barney?
You don't see Oh, shit. What the hell are you...